Can a film be cursed? Hello fellow fellers, and welcome to FanZcene. And if you haven't already, and if you're new here, please subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Possibly give this video a like and a share. I would appreciate it, but if not, that's okay. Today I have for you my review of the 5-part docuseries by Shudder, Cursed Films. And this is a new one here for me, guys, because usually I get on my channel with my reviews, I like to review things that I actually really liked and would like to suggest to watch for you guys to watch. In this case, this 5-part docuseries, it wasn't that great. I'm going to be honest, it wasn't that great, but I felt like sharing it with you guys because I watched all 5 of them, and there are parts of this that I did like, and there are parts that I did not like, and I felt like sharing with you guys to let you guys know, because this might be something some of you out there are interested in, and there is some really good, interesting things in it. I would say it actually is worth a watch. Now, the 5-part docuseries talks about 5 films that are presumably have been cursed, and those 5 films are The Exorcist, The Omen, Poltergeist, The Crow, and Twilight Zone the movie.
There are rumors that they used real skeletons from India and it led to a curse.
If you need skeletons to come out of a muddy pool, what do? Well, get some real ones, I guess.
Our brains are designed to believe all sorts of things, whether they're poltergeists.
There was a moment during production when their sets caught fire.
Gregory Peck was supposed to be on a flight that he canceled. The plane crashed and killed everyone on board.
The Antichrist would do everything not to have this picture made. For me, that was in one ear and out the other.
It was the last night of shooting. It was the final scene with the rescue of the 2 children.
Things are getting too close to the helicopter. And I turned around and I said, run.
They do the shot, and then he drops down, and he didn't get up.
I think it's easier for people to try to come up with some kind of conspiracy theory that helps justify why this person is suddenly gone.
There has to be a reason for something terrible happening. That's the crux of all this cursed thinking.
This docuseries pretty much suffers from bad storytelling and not staying on track with the actual films they're discussing and what the events that surround them that supposedly made these films cursed. They do mention, a lot of this stuff that they talk about, what makes the film cursed and the incidents that happen around them. Some people may know, some people may not know. They don't really go a lot in depth in them, and they kind of veer off with the storytelling. Like I said, they'll start talking about the film and some of the incidents that happen, and then they'll switch over to this person over here who had nothing to do with the film, and they'll start talking about this and what they do, and like with The Exorcist, they talk to a guy who's an exorcist and they show him do some exorcists, and that's cool, that's interesting, and but it really has nothing to do with the film Exorcist and why it's supposedly cursed. And like with the Omen, that one really kind of upset me because man, there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know about the Omen that happened. And personally, I don't know if it's cursed or not, but it was definitely a bad juju surrounding that film. Like Gregory Peck, who stars in the film, he canceled a flight and because they were going to film the movie in London, and he was supposed to fly to London, and he canceled his flight, and that plane crashed and killed all 6 people, including the pilot and the co-pilot. And when they crashed into a station wagon with a woman and her 2 children, and that woman and 2 children were actually the pilot's wife and kids. And a man that worked on the film, him and his fiance actually crashed on a road called Omen that was 66.6 miles. What they said on the sign, and his fiance was decapitated, very similar to a scene in the movie where a man is decapitated. And there's so much more with that, like Gregory Peck's plane, when he actually got on it, was struck by lightning, and then the plane carried the producers that followed the next day was also struck by lightning. And like they come to the conclusion at the end of their episode that the film was actually blessed. Personally, I do not think it was blessed. I think it also shows the hypocrisy of Hollywood and the studios, because, a lot of people out in Hollywood say they sell their souls. So, yeah, the movie Omen was a success. They got it made. It was hit big, and there's, this. But, in their episode, they didn't really even talk to, preachers or anybody of, that religious stature. They did talk to some a professor of religious studies, but it was more looking at it as scientific aspect, and they even concluded that it was blessed because all the incidents happened to the cast and crew and the executive producers that happened to the people around them, not them. So the movie was still allowed to be made. But I don't know about that. I'm a bit religious myself. I'm not going to preach to you guys or anything like that, but I definitely think some of the stuff that happened with The Omen was not great. So if you want to watch that one, The Omen, it does cover a lot of the curse more than some of the other ones, but it also veers off track to talking to people and like a witch and a person who practices dark magic who really have nothing to do with the film. They do talk to Linda Blair in the Exorcist one, which is kind of interesting, and you can see that the movie kind of she doesn't have a thing with it, but it also kind of messed her life up a little bit. But that one really wasn't as great as it went, and I watched that one last because The Exorcist scares the crap out of me. I'm going to be honest, it is a very scary movie, and I really didn't want to watch over what cursed at because I didn't want to be scared. Sorry, that's me. Because that movie actually legitimately scares me. But my favorite of these 5 was The Crow. The Crow is actually very good. If they could have did every episode like they did The Crow, it would have been a much better docuseries because The Crow is very straightforward. It doesn't veer off track. They talk to a lot of producers and Brendan Lee's makeup artist for the film, who was very, with him throughout the makeup and stuff, and it goes over what actually happened to him. It goes over the curse of the Lees, where Bruce Lee's family was supposedly cursed, where all the firstborn sons would meet an untimely demise and was going to be being chased by a demon, which was very interesting. And I like Bruce Lee and I like Brendan Lee, so that really interests me a lot. And it was kind of creepy too because they also, showed pictures of him, of Brendan Lee on the set and everything. And I learned some stuff about The Crow because The Crow is actually a really good movie. It's one of my favorite movies, and it was very interesting to me. I really liked that one, and I found it fitting that that even after Brendan Lee was killed on set, and they were actually going to shut down production. They weren't going to finish the film, and Brendan Lee's fiance and his mother actually said it was okay for them, and they wanted them to finish the film because they said Brendan was very proud of the work he was doing on The Crow, and they felt like he would really want this film finished. So that's what they finished it, and I really liked that. And I'm glad they did because it was a really good movie. And if you guys have not seen The Crow, I highly recommend The Crow. Please watch The Crow. The Poltergeist episode was alright. It was probably my second favorite. I personally do not think the Poltergeist film is cursed. I just think it had 2 very tragic accidents with 2 of the main cast women. The young girl who passed away suddenly, the little blonde girl who passed away on the making of the 3rd film because of an undiagnosed condition, and she was mistreated for the wrong thing. And the sister, the one who played her older sister in the first movie, who was actually killed by her abusive boyfriend. I think those are just 2 tragic accidents that happened, and people could probably go over the whole Poltergeist thing better than they actually did. So, I mean, if you want to watch that one, that one's pretty interesting. But The Exorcist, Omen, and the Twilight Zone one, not the greatest. And I was unaware of some of the stuff at the Twilight Zone, and with that one, it actually, the segment that John Landis directed is where it went down. I was unaware that actor Vic Morrow and 2 child actors were actually killed in the making of that film from a stunt that gone bad. There's explosions, helicopter crashed, and it killed these 3 people. And spoiler warning, if you do watch that one, they do actually show the footage of that happening, which I was surprised. I did not know that was going to be shown. I did not want to see that, and they really should have a warning before that happens, before they show that, because it took me by surprise, and it took me out of the whole episode. And it really wasn't, I think there was much curse to that at all. I don't think there was curse. It was just really poor filmmaking and very poor choices in stunts and the two child actors were actually being used at 2:30 in the morning when they were not allowed. They were hired illegally, and they don't talk to John Landis in this, and it kind of makes me not like John Landis because, I mean, it does say at the end that they reached out for comments and he didn't get back to them, but they kind of throw him under the bus in this, and personally taints him for me because I really do like his films, The Blues Brothers, Animal House, Coming to America, and American Werewolf in London, and that kind of taints that for me because he comes off like a little bit of an asshole in that, and uncaring. But if you want to watch these, I'd say go ahead and watch it because they actually are worth a watch. They're not great, but they are worth a watch. But The Crow is probably by far the best. You should really check that one out. The Poltergeist one isn't too bad, and if you're if you really want to know about these films and their curse, you could probably just go on YouTube and search for way better in-depth videos than actual Shudder, which is a streaming service for horror and stuff, which you think they could have done a little better. But those are my thoughts. This was my review. If you want to check it out, check it out. I highly recommend The Crow, the movie and the episode. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, whether you want to see this, or if you've seen this, or if you even know about these cursed films. I want to know. Leave me some comments. I thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Possibly give this video a like or dislike if you did not like it. And please share it out for everybody to see if you want to. Wherever you are, have a great, safe, happy, healthy day, morning, afternoon, evening, night. Hope you're staying safe and healthy and washing your hands. And Godspeed.